Well, good afternoon. It's the 24th of August, and welcome to our afternoon update. We had a very interesting day today. Had a major meltdown in all markets this morning. Some markets managed to firm back from those super low levels. This morning, the Dow Jones at one point was down 1,000, and here late in the day, it's going to be probably closing somewhere around 350 to 400 lower. It's still plenty of time in the day for the Dow Jones. Crude oil was down 250 at one point today. It bounced back some. The dollar was down 200 today. Very, very big moves in these markets, but we did manage to come back some. December cotton is going to be closing down 283. It was down the 300-point limit this morning about 8:30. It bounced. It came back some, but then late in the day it started sliding back off again. November soybeans down 15 and a quarter at 874 and a quarter. At one point it was down 35 and a quarter this morning about 8:30. Then the high was 887 and a half, but closing at 874 and a quarter. December corn managed to go from being down 10 and a quarter this morning to closing up on the day 4 and a quarter at 381 and a half. The high was 381 and a half. And then the low was 365 and a half. December wheat up 4 3/4 at 508 3/4. At one point it was down 8 1/2. It did manage to come back. The high was 509. The low was 491 and a half. Looking at the latest, looking across here at the board, we've got the dollar down 144, crude oil down 173 a barrel. Gold down $6 and silver down 50 cents. And we've got the Dow Jones right now down 358. So that's really it. Very interesting day. Probably one of the worst days I've seen across the board in all markets since I've been in this business. But it did come back some. So thanks for being with us. We'll take a look at overnight. Join us tomorrow morning for our morning update. Thanks for being with us.